Good morning, friends. This is Umarani speaking and welcoming you to the research page. I think I have been telling you about the structure of an article, how we have to formulate your article. So, first I told you about organization, what you have to select, abstract, introduction I told you. And now I think I will tell you something about the objectives. So, always we have to frame some objectives for regarding, for example, just to look at the picture you will understand. I have framed 3 objectives. I can say that, what are the problems the SHGs are facing regarding the finance. And next is analyze what are the skills development programs that has been attended by these SHG people. And the last one is what are the steps taken by the SHG for resilience to sustain in the market in spite of the problem they are facing during the COVID pandemic. Okay. So next will be the review of literature. So we all know that we do review of literature just to have an in-depth knowledge about the problem what we are going to discuss now. Is it not? So we all know that. So I want to know more about the problems of SHG means then I should go for review where I will find out lot of literatures and I will find out what are the problems they are facing. So I get a very wide knowledge about this research. That is the first thing. And second thing is I need to fill up the gap. What do you mean by fill up the gap is sometimes many authors they repeatedly write the same type of article. It should not be like that. So when we do review we will find out that they have not they might have left out maybe resilience steps what they are taking nobody would have written. So I am filling the gap of writing a new type of article coming out with a new conceptual model and all that. So you have to do that review of literature so that we can fill up the gap in the sense new type of article I can frame which will help the self-help group organization. And the third thing is very important thing is all of us should know how to frame a conceptual model. So first having framed the objectives we know what are the objectives. Based on the objectives we should know how to frame the conceptual model. So when you keep reading the review we get a wide knowledge regarding these how they are creating the conceptual model, what are the dimensions they have and how they are inserting the variables for each dimensions we will come to understand. So that's all about review of literature. Then significance of the study, it's nothing but how important this self-help group is for helping the empowerment for the women and how they are able to withstand on their own by conducting the self-help groups. So like that we can tell about the women empowerment in the significance of the study. Then comes limitations. So when I say limitations we will face as a researcher in collecting the data or time constraint will be there or people will not respond to us. So many problems will face all that we can put it down under the limitations. Okay. Then comes conceptual model which is very important. I am giving you 3 dimensions. For each dimension I am giving you some variables. Just look at the picture there. 3 dimensions are there. First one is economic resources. Is from the economic point of view I am creating a dimension where my variables will be finance, interest, loan, whatever problem they are facing to get from the bank. And self-empowerment is the second dimension where I am giving the skill development. People have to women have to develop themselves in various skills so that they will be in a position to sustain during the problem period. And the third one is community welfare where the employment and income I am giving you as a variable. So taking into account all these variables then I am saying that people are doing resilience. That means they are taking steps to overcome the problem so that finally they are able to sustain. Okay. So actually I understood that in many North Indian states where self-help group women, some of them they know stitching but many of them are not aware of stitching. So they have learned stitching. These women they have learned stitching and they are mask now that is a most wanted object. So many people they are preparing that mask so that they are also exporting to other countries and they are also selling to many people. So this mask manufacturing has become very important role, they are playing, women self-help group, they are playing an important role, and they are doing this and they stitch it a mask, and throughout India and even abroad they are sending. This is what I mean, a skill development. They develop their skill and see that they are able to overcome the problem of marketing. Though they are unable to market the other products, now this is the most wanted product, so they are doing that and they are able to overcome. This is what I mean by, what to say, that conceptual model. Please be very clear about the conceptual model. Just to go through once again, decide the organization and our area, and then you can fix up the title, then you go for abstract, and then introduction, you have some code there. Objectives, I am framing 3 objectives. Review of literature I do, significance of the study, then comes limitations, then comes the conceptual model. This is how I am framing the conceptual model. Ultimately the SHGs are able to sustain in spite of the problems they are undergoing. Thank you.